Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to present my private member's bill, Bill 302, an act to recognize the injustice that was done to persons of Italian origin through their enemy alien designation and internment during the Second World War, and to provide for restitution and promote education on Italian-Canadian history. Le contexte historique de ce projet de loi est vaste et complexe, mais je tenterai de tout de même de vous expliquer brièvement, malgré le peu de temps dont je dispose, l'importance d'adopter cette loi. Il va sans dire qu'avec un nom tel que Pacetti et un prénom comme Massimo, mes origines italiennes ne sont un secret pour personne. But this bill is not just about Italians, but is about making a wrong into a right for all Canadians. The purpose of this bill is to demonstrate that Canada's history is not much different from one era versus another, including the stories of one immigrant group versus another. Canada was and continues to be the promise of a land that offers opportunity, where the principles of peace, order, and good government triumph over the chaos of war, corruption, and poverty. Ours is a country that offers hope, freedom, prosperity, or just simply a better life to thousands of people who just need to be given a fair chance to succeed. Without history, we have no future. And ignoring our history is even worse in that we deny our existence. Mon projet de loi, ce projet de loi, revendique simplement la reconnaissance des injustices commises dans les années 40 et le rétablissement de la justice. On June 10, 1940, Italy declared war on the free world. Though it was painful for some Italian Canadians to think of Italy as the enemy because of the family they left behind, their loyalty was to Canada. But to the government of Canada, this didn't matter. Italian Canadians were still designated enemy aliens, in spite of the fact that a year earlier, a report by Norman Robinson to Justice Minister Ernest Lapointe in 1939, the year before the internment of Italian Canadians commenced, made several recommendations against internment, claiming that a large majority of Italian Canadians were not disloyal to this country. Robertson felt that it would not be in the public interest to recommend their immediate arrest at the outbreak of an eventual war between Canada and Italy, and that any arrest on the grounds of disloyalty must be based on evidence and must be corroborated with proof that the individual in question is likely to act in a manner prejudicial to public safety. But it has become clear, Mr. Speaker, over the years that individuals were in fact arrested on speculation alone. And what happened next was that the Prime Minister of the day, W.L. Mackenzie King, invoked the War Measures Act and took to the airwaves to issue the following statement. The Minister of Justice has authorized the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to take steps to intern all residents of Italian origin whose activities have given ground for the belief or reasonable suspicion that they might, in time of war, endanger the safety of the state. And it is with these words where the nightmare began for many. Imagine Canadians, some of Italian origin, others whose names sounded Italian, or just because they had Italian friends, were designated enemy aliens. They were forced by the RCMP to register their names, report to them on a monthly basis, and in some cases had travel restrictions imposed upon them. Others had their assets seized by the state, while various Italian organizations were declared illegal, as was the teaching of the Italian language. It was common for police forces to arrest and detain individuals that they deemed security risk for no reason. These actions were enforced randomly, based solely on ethnicity, and affected anyone whose name ended in a vowel, which meant that Italians and non-Italians alike had to spend nights in jail. These measures caused severe damage to the psyche of Italian communities in Canada. Within the Italian community, there was a tremendous respect for authority, and therefore a tendency to defer to authority figures, even in instances where there were abuses. This was compounded by the fact that Italians simply wanted to fit into their new homeland and be viewed as good Canadians by their compatriots. While there was a certain degree of indignation within the community, they mostly felt shame, so they suffered in silence. But this bill does not only speak to those individuals, Mr. Speaker. This bill speaks to the most tragic part of this story. It is the story of over 1,000 persons of Italian origin. I speak of those who were subject to internment in prison camps, mainly in Petawawa, picked up in the middle of the night, put on a train, and sent to prison camps. To those who were never charged, just detained and harassed. The toll that internment took on these individuals and their families is too great to do justice. In such a limited amount of time, but their story must be told. Now you ask, what are a few hundred or thousands people? Firstly, it is the untold story of an entire community that suffered. A story where many professionals of Italian origin at that time were too embarrassed or scared to be seen as they were, which is Italian, causing many of them to change their names. This dealt a crippling blow to the burgeoning Italian community as a generation of leaders that was lost to them. Secondly, let's remember the time in history that we're dealing with. During the internment, most of those arrested were males, many of whom were the heads of households and the sole breadwinners of their family, which in the late 1930s and early 1940s was far more crippling to a family than it would be today. They were taken away from their families without reason. Mothers and children were left behind to fend for themselves in a land they were still trying to comprehend. They were left on their own with no social programs, no community-based organizations, no charter of rights, a language barrier, many were illiterate, and no government to turn to. Such a dire situation befalling Canadian residents is unthinkable to Canadians today. But this was not the worst of it, Mr. Speaker. While the detainees were put to work on forced labor projects such as the construction of roads and clearing of land, many of their families, already stigmatized by the broader community, isolated themselves from other people of Italian origin as well. In order not to be viewed as a family in dire straits, many families turned inward to avoid further shame. The burden they bore was the heaviest of all. And I ask this chamber, Mr. Speaker, for what reason? Pourquoi ceci? On peut comprendre que le gouvernement de l'époque était ébranlé par la guerre, mais cela seul ne peut justifier le fait que les gens comme James Franceschini ont été enlevés à leur famille. Lorsque M. Franceschini est arrivé au Canada en 1906, alors âgé de 15 ans, il était sans le sou et ne parlait pas un mot d'anglais. Il s'est trouvé du travail et a épargné la somme nécessaire à la mise sur pied de la propre petite entreprise d'excavation. Il est devenu le plus grand entrepreneur de travaux de routière du Canada. Lorsque le Canada entra en guerre, Franceschini fonda la Dufferin Shipbuilding Company, afin de construire pour le gouvernement ce qui était probablement les dragueurs de mines les moins chers au pays. Lorsque l'Italie déclara la guerre au Canada, le gouvernement saisit l'entreprise, arrêtera James Franceschini et l'enfermera dans un camp d'internement en tant qu'un sujet d'un pays ennemi.